First, we need to pick a suitable template. In this example, one that has the instrumentation of a jazz big band. In the Files menu, go to New, Document from Template, open the Band Templates folder and select Jazz Band Handwritten. Let's name it Opus One. You can fill in the other fields if you like. When done, press the Return key to get to the next dialog box. Our song is in 4/4 time, so we can leave the time signature as is. The key is B-flat major. For playback purposes, you may set the tempo anywhere between 170 and 180 BPM. Press the Return key to finish the setup process. This template really offers a great starting point. It has exactly the instrumentation we're looking for, and all instruments appear in the correct order and are nicely grouped together with brackets to meet publishing standards. If you look closely, you'll find that the staves are very close together, just like we see them in those sheet music templates. With Finale, we have the luxury to adjust each system on a page-to-page basis to make sure everything fits nicely and remains readable. The arrangement we're working on is 16 bars long. Considering the page size, I think 8 bars per page fit nicely. So let's do that. Okay, now with the selection tool selected, press Command A to select all the bars. Press Shift Command M and press 8 and press OK. Very good. So if you zoom out, you see you have 8 bars on the first page. Press Command and page down to get to the second page. And yes, we have 8 bars here as well. Since the song has only 16 bars, which fit on the first 2 pages, we should delete the extra measures we don't need. To do so, select the first bar on page 3 and skip to the last page. There, select the last measure and double-click anywhere in the selected bars. Press Delete. Okay, so let's copy the music from the jazz trio into our rhythm section. By the way, did you know that you can rotate through open documents of an application by pressing Command and the Tilde key on a Mac? This key command really speeds up your workflow. Command Tilde will get me back to my trio arrangement. I still have the selection tool activated, so I press Command A and I press Command C to copy it all. Now, I just want to mention one thing. You know, under the Edit menu, you find the filter. And in this case, Use Filter is checked. So let's see if anything is deselected in the Edit Filter dialog box. And it looks like everything is checked, which is good. So you could make sure that you copy everything by clicking All here, or by turning off the filter. The shortcut for that is Option Command F. So I turn it off to make sure everything goes into the buffer. I press Command C to copy. I press Command Tilde to get back to my big band arrangement. I click to the left of the right-hand piano staff into the space. Don't click on anything, just click here. And I hold Shift and I click to the left of the drum set part. Now press Command V to copy the music into the staves. So let's zoom in here. I hold Shift, Command and drag around the rhythm section on the first page. Boom. I think it's always a good idea to separate sections with double bar lines. Our song has 2 sections, each being 8 bars long. So let's put a double bar line at the end of bar 8. With the selection tool, simply do a right click on the 8th bar of any of the staff systems. In the contextual menu that appears, go to bar lines and select the double bar line. Now, one thing becomes blatantly obvious here, that the layout is just not as good as it might have looked at first glance, because the space between the staff systems is just not big enough. So let me show you how you can fix this. The easiest way to do this is by downsizing the staff systems. You need the page layout tool for that. So under Tools, select Page Layout. In the Page Layout menu, go to Resize Staff Systems. As you can see, right now the staff systems are at 100%. Let's see what happens when we reduce them to 76%. We definitely gained some extra space at the bottom of the page, but the distance between the staves is still too small. Now all we have to do is respace the staves. To do so, we need to select the staff tool. By the way, those black beams indicate that a staff style has been applied. You can hide them by going to the staff menu and unchecking Show Staff Styles. If you can still see those staff style beams, you may have to refresh your screen by pressing Command U. Where were we? We selected the staff tool. Let's now bring up the staff menu and select Respace Staves. I prefer to respace or scale the staves by a percentage value because it leaves the relative distance between consecutive staves intact. Space above each selected staff and we scale it percentage-wise. So let's see what happens. You still could utilize a little more space at the bottom. So let's go back to respace staves. And this time I'm going to go to 110. And now it looks fantastic. However, it's not perfect yet. When we zoom in, we can see that the distance between the chord symbols and the music is too great. When we double-click a chord symbol, we get those adjustment arrow heads on the left. By moving the leftmost triangle, we can adjust the baseline for all the chord symbols in the entire score at once. This fixed the chord symbols in the piano part. The chord symbols in the bass part, however, still need to be moved closer to the staff. To only move the chords of the bass part, we first click on the bass part to select it. Then we grab the second triangle from the left, which will adjust only the chords that belong to the selected bass part. First, let's copy the top staff of the piano part into the trumpet part. To do so, activate the selection tool and click in the space to the left of the right-hand piano part to select it. Now hold Shift Option and click in the first bar of the Trumpet 1 part. The filter dialog will appear. Uncheck the text block and chord symbols checkboxes. By the way, if your filter is already set correctly, you can copy the music by option clicking right away. Before we move on, let's clean up the trumpet part. The next step is to distribute the different notes of each chord to the different trumpet parts, as shown here. Finale has a utility called Explode Music for that. You can get to it from the Utilities menu or by pressing 2. Let's select the trumpet part 1 and press the key command 2. Let's change the number in this box to 4, because we want to split the trumpet part 1 into 4 staves. The explode direction is already set correctly to top down. We don't have to worry about extra notes, because none of our chords has more than 4 notes in it. We need to change the place music into location. First, let's set it to place music into existing staves, starting with staff, trumpet in B flat 1. When we examine the trumpet parts closely, we find that there are some notes missing. That's because Finale does not copy single notes when exploding music. This means we have to manually fix those instances by copying the missing notes from trumpet part 1. With the selection tool selected, click above the note to the left outside the staff, click and drag around the B flat. Now all you have to do is click on the 8th note rests in the other trumpet parts while holding down the Option key. Let's do the same thing in bar 4 and 5. Let's fix bars 7 and 8. Drag around and Option click the first rest in the other trumpet parts. Now that you know how to do the trumpets, doing the trombones is a piece of cake. All you have to do is copy the left-hand piano part into the trombone 1 part and then explode it. Just like with the trumpet parts, we have now instances where the first trombone plays a note and the other trombones have a rest. Let's copy the extra notes in trombone part 1 to the other trombone parts. Click drag around the notes you want to copy and then Option click where you want to copy it to.